What's going on, everybody? Um, Kiwi here again, man. And today, like what I want to go over in this video is just going over identifying support and resistance zones and our quarter point and whole number levels, right? So that's the only thing we're going to be going over, right? Is just breaking down a few charts, and just identifying our levels and how we're seeing these levels and how are we finding these levels, right? And just doing it right now. I'm just on my little majors chart. Besides like EU and G, right? I'm never really on these, so I think that was a markup from a while ago, right? So just we're just gonna go through a few of these, right? Identifying a few key support resistance levels. You see, they're typically always, at least for me, going to be on the zones as well. So just breaking all that down, right? So the first thing I like to do is just go to weekly, right? I like to kind of just get a full feel for the full overview of where price is, right? And then I just start to, you know, one main thing I like to do is start off is I would just plot a horizontal line, right? So, and then I would just drop this horizontal line until I saw it was at an area where you're seeing multiple rejections, right? So this area right here is a level that I'm seeing multiple rejections from, right? Change that to zero, right? Keeping that at a 0.81000 whole number level, right? And if we look back, just looking back, we see this level is active support, right? Support, resistance, support, broke back below, right? We're seeing price react to this level a lot, right? So this would be our first major zone that we will plot. And I'm just gonna draw a little box here. What I like to do is capture the most recent price action, right? So we see we're capturing the majority of these wicks here, majority of this body of this bearish engulfing top body, right? Identifying this as our major level. I'm just going to go to our text coordinates and just do a little all right. Right, just identifying this is key, and you can also do something like, identifying weekly resistance. Me personally, I'm at a point where I don't have to do that. But when I first started off, especially, I would just identify 0.81, you know what I'm saying, weekly resistance. Then we're going to continue. And most times when I do find these major resistance, I like to, okay, I find a major resistance, I'll just go down, try to find a major support, or you can just keep dropping the line down. And actually, that's what we'll do, right? So we'll just keep going from the beginning again, right? We see this good time span, 2015 data on here as well. Another key thing is you can break it down to a line chart, right? So we see I'm seeing a couple rejections here at this level, right? So it's going to be a level identify. So we see we have resistance here, kind of once price gets near the zone, right? We're seeing this hesitation in price broke above use as support, right? We see a test of resistance here, right? Resistance, right? So we're going to identify this as a key level in price for us. And I'm just going to see, let's see how 0.79 looks, right? Okay, cool. Right, so we're gonna use this 78500 quarter point level here. All right, mark this up just like this. You don't want to capture majority of this price action here. I'm gonna go to the upside. So see, we're capturing the wicks here, right? Wicks body action here. We're just gonna identify this as our right. So we've identified another area in price that we see at these whole numbers or these quarter point levels that price is respecting. Another level that I am potentially seeing here, right? Just gonna graph another line chart is this area right here. See resistance, right? Test this area and price. And if we take a look, right? So yeah. And if we break it down to our daily, it probably looks a lot. So we have a lot of noise kind of in this area here, but for the most part, this is going to be, I'll say, an area that I would like to have highlighted for the simple respect of understanding that price may have some sort of potential movement or hesitation in this zone, right? So I'm gonna mark that here. Wind's blowing my door open. Just gonna mark out that zone here, right? And like depending on what type of trade you are, kind of depends on what zones you really like to mark up. But we see, especially when it comes to looking at, we see price is literally respected this area really, really well. We see when it initially came down, we saw this area has to support, this area is acted as general resistance, right? We see price didn't not respected 100% right to the T. We see this other minor zone here that you could always mark up like, hey, this is another level of resistance here, right? Within this overall major levels here, but neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and mark up what this level is. Another resistance level. Once again, let's just go back to our weekly still. And we see these are just the levels that we're creating on the weekly time frame, right? So you can have different levels and different colors. What I'll generally do is mark up the levels nearest where we are, right? So I will start generally in this area and work my way out from here. But since this is a video, I'm just wanting this to demonstrate not exactly how we break down a pair, but how we find these levels, right? So that's the main gist of this one. We'll get into the whole trading strategy part of it later, right? But let's just say we continue to go down, right? I'm identifying this level. I like it, but I'm also not the biggest fan of this level. So I'll say I would rather have a level, mark up a level like this, right? Yeah, near this level, right? So 6,900. Yes, I prefer, and looking back, I prefer this, right? So let's just mark up this support level here really quick. Capture a good decent amount of this price action. 0.68900. Right. So now we've identified a support zone. Go ahead and get rid of this line here. So now we have a general level, and now this would be where I kind of mark up this over here, right? And it's kind of just like our midway between these two major levels, in my personal opinion. We see price has reacted to this level on several different occasions. Right, so we see price, resistance, support, counter support, resistance, fell through, kind of had a support here, resistance here, right? So we see this level has acted as a level that price is reacting to. We want to make sure we are identifying some price that is reacting to. Now, currently I'm marking up as resistance, but if price was to break above here, I will mark it up as, support or whatever. But that's typically why I just don't even put resistance or support, because I'm able to, generally you'll be able to identify what levels are resistance and support just by understanding where price is currently. Right, so the price is below this zone, clearly it's going to be a resistance zone for me. It's above me, but this is how simple it would be for us to just break down these areas, right? And now that was just on our weekly, right? Now that I've identified my my strong major levels in price on my weekly, I can start to break it down even further using, and this is where you start to see more so your combination of identifying zones with also identifying where your lower lows are and your lower highs are, right? So identify this head and shoulders pattern here, right? Left shoulder comes up, create your head, comes down, create your right shoulder. And we can just believe that is here, head and shoulders pattern, right? Right, super simple head and shoulders pattern. We see the follow down to the downside, with this being our potential retest of the neckline before it's continued to roll over, right? But just identifying, like, we had our head and shoulders pattern here, which is our bearish signaling pattern. So now we understand that once we get a break below this level here, the 0.76000, we're identifying that price is now moving in a bearish momentum form way. So we have our lower low here, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? We see we made these lower low high formations until we got to our support area of 0.7300. We see price kind of caught support, consolidated here for a little bit of time, right? We see price consolidate here for a little bit of time before breaking through this zone and catching a level of price area support and breaking back to the upside, right? So we see once price we did start to see the formation of a higher high, higher low, higher high. Price failed to create more bullish momentum to the upside, kind of respecting this 0.7600 level as a resistance area. And then we see price, roll back over to the downside, retesting this 0.73000 level as resistance, giving us double top formation here, right? Roll to downside, yada, 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 right? And that's simple just by using these major levels on a weekly, you would be able to easily trade this. Like looking forward, okay, like on a minor level, we can see prices catching support here at this 0.7 level here. So let's just right there and okay. So now we have identified this area as another area where price is catching support. Now we're able to identify, okay, now pretty much what we are looking for is going to be either break above, retest this area to continuation to the next zone, or we're looking for price to, come down, break through this initial support zone, retest the support zone, possibly as resistance, lower low or lower high, right? Before continuing down to this support zone of 0.8900, right? So that is literally how easily we would look at AUD USD to trade that. Another pair I want to take a look at here. Let's just say NZ USD. Take a look, see if this formation's good. Yeah. I like this price action. I like this, right? So just taking a look at another chart here. Taking a look at New Zealand dollar versus US dollar. First thing we're going to do is find our major just get I'll say, what is this, 2015ish, 2016ish type. Just get a nice good view, right, of where price has been. First, we're going to plot that horizontal line. And actually where I plotted that was actually a pretty nice space, but I'm not going to plot that one. I'm going to bring it down to here, this area here, right? With these multiple projections of price. Then let's see what level is that right there. 0.7400, right? That is what I'm going to use as my first area of resistance. I'm gonna apply another horizontal line. Take this line, we're gonna bring it down, see what we can. I think this level right here is gonna be a good level. I'm seeing price kind of react to this level a few times, right? General support, support, nice areas, support, resistance, right? So I'm put that level there. I'll grab another horizontal line. I'm gonna take this, bring this down to this level right here. Yeah, right in this area right here, right? So resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, right? We're seeing this, right? Making sense. I hope this is making sense. Hope this is making a lot of sense. Bringing this line down a little bit more. You can honestly say here, right? So we see price, resistance, support, resistance, support. It looks like it's testing this area right now. It's potential resistance, right? May be able to enter this trade just by watching this video if you watch it right now. This is gonna be another level, right? So look here, support, right? Identifying these major zones, man. These major zones. Make sure I got this in a whole number. I like it. You know what I'm saying? Make sure. Oh my. This is area. Actually. Yeah. Okay. So just getting a clear identification of where we're seeing price move at. I'll say 0.56. I'll just mark that up as a good general area. I'm not gonna stress about that area too much. Could move it up, but yes, what it is. Leave it there, right? From here, you will see we will start to mark up our boxes. Main thing we want to do is make sure we're capturing majority of that price action in that zone, but making sure we're keeping that zone fitted to what it needs to be fitted to, right? We're gonna increase that a little bit. Actually, what is my level? I like a certain tint. Make sure my tint is right. What is that? 65. 65. Okay. Hey, I like a certain tint, man. Certain things. I like a certain weight. Like 65. So we're almost there, right? Yeah, I like that. Don't that look so much better, y'all? I think that looks so much better, right? So it's the little things that matter. It's really the little things that make you to make it worthwhile, right? So just do. Right. Okay. Identifying these zones, marking up these zones here. Just making sure we're capturing price action, right? Capturing these wicks, these bodies. Some are going to be thicker than others. I actually want to say capture that zone there. Okay. Mark up this level here. Getting that good price action captured, right? And literally what I like to do, honestly, for the most part, and then I'll just copy this on here because it won't be in that area for a while, right? Now it just comes to breaking it down to your lower time frames, right? That was the weekly. Marking up my major levels on my weekly, and you see just marking up these levels, we see prices literally respecting so many of these levels to a T. So once we have that, now that it just makes it easy to identify, right? When we're just trading between these zones, like that's just how I trade out. I mark up my key zones and I'm literally just trading price within these zones, right? Understanding where price is. So we see, just looking at our weekly, prices been lower lows, lower highs, recently. Yeah, been in a downtrend, right? So we see price been in a downtrend. So that are automatically, since we identify what price has been doing, been in a downtrend, that automatically first thing lets me know is, okay, I'm looking to more than likely enter on a lower high formation, right? I'm hoping to get in at the pullback through retracement and ride that retracement down until we form our next lower high where I get in the price again, right? So I understand I've already identified that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get in on lower high formations in the downtrend, right? So now I'm looking at price. I'm saying, okay, we're consolidating, came up to this zone, right? We see this even the star formation continue to roll over to the downside. We're looking at price currently. We're saying, okay, price is moving in. Looking at daily. Let me make sure I'm seeing this correctly, guys. Maybe if I bring it out to the 4 hour, let me see 4 hour. Okay. I was going to say we have price potentially moving in somewhat of a wedge type formation, but not really, but that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Looking at price, let's go back to daily for just a quick second, right? We're seeing first of all, when we're looking at price on the daily, we're seeing price is exhausting at this current level of price, right? We're seeing these high wicks to the upside. We're seeing these lower these smaller real bodies, right? So now we're seeing that on daily, and what's reflecting on the 4 hour, right? We're seeing price exhaust. We're seeing is really struggling to create new higher highs, new higher lows, right? We're seeing price start to just kind of funnel a bit, right? In a sense. So we're seeing this, we even break down to 1 hour, right? We're seeing price move within this channel, right? So now what we're kind of waiting to identify is just more price action, I'll say, on a 4 hour, right? So I want to see, main thing, we want to see price start to break structure, right? So be looking for price to break around this area, this 66900 level, and then we'll be looking more so to see, make sure, are we having more bearish confluences, and if so, we're getting in a trade because we're understanding that price is moving bearish. We're in this major resistance zone, right? We're seeing exhaustion in price on higher time frames. All of these are major confluences. We'd be looking to get in potentially on that sale. So let's just take a look at one more. Let's just do USD CAD, right? Or actually, we may not do USD CAD. No, price action is really terrible. USD CAD. Let's look at USD CHF. It's not the best, but I've seen better. This is where it gets fun, right? Seeing where price is kind of in a rangy type of. All right, so price, it's not giving us a whole lot here. In terms of, let's just see like how quick it can be, right? Just boom, identifying these zones, and we're seeing these zones, even how quickly I'll put them up there. We see all these zones are major zones. We're seeing price either tunnel between these zones, reject, right? So we're seeing that's how easy it starts to become, right? And then we would just clean it up a little bit, right? Right, 727, just like that, 700. I make that 200 instead, 176, right? Just seeing where, making sure when we're doing this though, that it follows price, right? It's in the general direction that we're wanting to see price. All right, so just making sure it fits price, and then we would draw up our boxes, right? Draw. We're just identifying how these major areas these major rejections and price, right? Just showing you guys how these major rejections and price and these pauses in price um correlate with these whole number zones, these quarter point levels, right? These whole number zones, whole number price levels, these quarter point levels, right? It all ties into each other, right? So with that, I'm gonna conclude this video on that, right? I hope you guys take this information, use it, and we're gonna see how it ties into our trading more and more as we go through these videos, right? Um, and that shit's damn near my trading in the sense. But neither here nor there. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and conclude this video. And like we always like to say, see you on the next one, people.